Oh, and he plays it. Wow, what a move. What happens when a country music artist takes up chess? Not just as a hobby, but to see how high they can get their rating on chess.com. Just yesterday, I had the opportunity to sit down with none other than Clay Walker, country music artist who's been around for decades creating amazing music. He took up chess about 4 years ago as a hobby, but now he wants to get serious. He wants to see how high he can get his rapid rating on chess.com, and I'm going to be coaching him and helping him do that. You guys are going to get to see live footage of his games. You're going to see his blunders, his brilliant moves. You're going to see the training process along the way. I think you're going to enjoy this. I know we're excited. Let's take a look. All right, Clay, how's it going, man?
It's going great, Nelson. Man, I've been looking forward to this. Thanks for agreeing to take me on and teach me a few things, man. I love your channel, love your style of teaching. It just makes so much sense. Somebody like me who's not a chess expert and not great, but really passionate about the game. It's just so fun.
When did you start playing chess? Was it about 4 years ago, you said?
Yeah, about 4 years ago. A couple of my buddies liked it, and they tore me up, and I hated getting beaten. So so I started looking online and learning. I probably moved too quickly without really understanding basics and foundations. I have gotten better, but I've reached this sticking spot, where I'm around a 700 or 800, and I lose a lot of games that I feel like I shouldn't lose.
So you said 700-800, and that's rapid rating on chess.com, right?
Right.
And do you have a goal, a rating that you would like to one day try to hit?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get to a 1,000, soon.
Let's go ahead. I actually analyzed 10 of your most recent losses, and I wrote down every single mistake, and I found something really interesting. Actually, in 8 out of those 10 games, you made the same kind of mistake. Moving too fast.
Whew, man.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited already because 8 out of 10, I mean, if I could correct that one thing, that means that I might go way up.
A lot of the mistakes I noticed, he made this move and he only spent 5 or 6 seconds. So I actually have some examples. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So this one, you captured the knight, which at first glance, okay, it's a free knight, and then you're hitting the rook. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But his most recent move brought this rook down, which is lining up with the bishop, and your king is actually going to get into really big trouble. And again, this move was played in 10 seconds, right? I think if you would have slowed down a little bit, you would have noticed that there was a rook here, a knight. Which one's better? Well, the rook is more points. And now you avoid any problems with them attacking you here. So this is definitely the better move, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, this one is interesting. So this one, you sacrificed this bishop so fast. It was 11 seconds. I'm sacking the bishop. So first of all, I admire the spirit. You're going for the king. You're going to just bust it open and attack him. Can you tell me what the problem is with this move?
I was just trying to weaken the king's side. I mean, I didn't think. I was probably, I don't know.
Okay. The problem is after they take you back, you don't have backup ready to continue the attack. There's no pieces except for the queen. You have one cheap attack here, but he can easily defend that. You don't have backup over there. So that is the difference. There's nothing wrong with sacrificing a piece to attack the king. The key thing is that you have backup to follow it up. And I'm actually going to show you a perfect example of this in just a second. Okay. So just keep that in the back of your mind. The problem with that was I didn't have backup, right? So compare that to this position. This was another game that you played recently.
Oh, I remember this game. Yeah.
Yeah, you agreed to a draw in this position. And you had a very similar type of setup, right? Where you could sack the bishop and attack the king. But this position, if you would have done this, is very different than the one that we just looked at. Can you tell me which pieces can come into the fight now?
Well, you could check the king with the knight, or you can bring your rook over, and probably I probably like moving the knight out of the way so I can activate the queen too.
Absolutely, exactly right. Yeah,
the knight would be protected, by the rook. The queen couldn't take.
Exactly.
Put him in check, and then obviously, if you bring your queen in, you can just go down to where the king is positioned now, and he'd be a checkmate.
Exactly right. So this is actually a famous sacrifice called the Greek gift sacrifice. And the idea is you follow up with the knight, and when they go back, you follow up with the queen. And exactly like you said, this is going to be checkmate against pretty much anything. But the only thing black could do would be to sacrifice their queen. If they try to run, it's still going to lead to a checkmate because your rook is stopping the escape,
Yep.
and there's really nothing else black can do. So, but what I really want you to pay attention to is this position versus this position. Okay, the big difference when you take here, he takes you back. You don't have a knight to jump in. You don't have a rook helping. All you have is maybe a queen, and he can very easily defend. Compared to, we've got the knight, we've got the queen, we've got the rook helping. That's the difference. So whenever you have those moments where you're like, okay, I have a bishop, I could sacrifice it, or a knight, I could sacrifice it, or whatever. Do I have backup? How many more pieces can I have to follow up the attack after I sacrifice it? General rule is if your queen and another piece can come to follow up, you should probably do it. If it's only the queen, it's usually not enough. So that's kind of what I wanted to cover. The big takeaway is just slow down on some of those moves, and I think you're going to avoid a lot of these big mistakes. I want you to go ahead and play a game. You're going to play on your computer. I'm going to analyze separately on mine, and I'll kind of do some commentary. I'll watch, and then we can come back after the game and discuss. Does that sound good?
Absolutely.
All right, guys, I'm going to be watching Clay play a game. He just started a few seconds ago. Let's see what happened. So e4, e6, he has been playing the French recently, and I showed him this line with bishop d7, a6, and bishop b5. So I'm expecting he's going to do that. Let's see. Yeah, he does go bishop d7. And the point, if you're wondering, is to trade off this bishop for this bishop. Okay, his opponent stops it from happening by bringing out the knight, which looks good, but it's actually not a great move because you can attack. We actually talked about this a couple days ago, and he remembers c5 is the best move. You want to strike at the center, and normally white would want to play c3 to defend that, right, to keep their pawn chain. But they can't because the knight's there. So this is a great move. He remembered what we talked about. This is perfect. So far, so good. And let's see how white's going to respond because he's really going to try to keep building the pressure on d4, and it's going to be very difficult without that pawn to help it. So far, so good.
And I'm remembering what Nelson had said to me about as long as it's closed in the center, it's okay for the king to stay in the center.
Okay, so his opponent tries to defend. I think I would probably just take it and then bring out my knight to really just put the pressure on the center. I don't think I would want to let him take because he's got the bishop supporting it. So yeah, I would just trade and bring out the knight. We'll see if Clay does the same thing. I think he will. I think he will do this.
I kind of like bringing the queen out right here and attacking the pawn on the second rank and defending this pawn as a take. What if he takes, though? Then I take with the dark squared.
I mean, knight c6 is probably not awful, but okay, queen b6. All right. Interesting move. It's not bad. It's I don't know if it's as good as just taking, but okay, he is defending, he's attacking the weak spots. All right. I like it. I like it. And there's no fork with the knight because the bishop is guarding, so I think he's okay there. Not bad. Not bad. I assume white's going to take, and then Clay's going to come out with the bishop. He's going to have a pretty nice position. And this e5 pawn is actually going to be probably a weakness because you don't have the support of the pawn chain once this trade ends up happening. That's what I anticipate we're going to see here. I mean, I say that. I guess he could consider taking this pawn too. Aha. Okay, that's a big mistake. And the main reason I think is these dark squares. I'm envisioning somehow this looks like it could be very good for him. And this is definitely a moment I hope that he pauses, slows down, and thinks through some options. Maybe option number one would be what happens if we just attack the knight right away? It doesn't have any support now. It's a pin. For example, if the queen comes up, now we can take, and then bam, we bring out the bishop. We have the queen, the bishop, and white's already got to be very, very careful. So that's one thing. Knight c6 is a move I would consider too, just to continue to attack that way. Taking, I don't really like taking as much now because I get hit with the queen. Yeah, but you could take. So taking, knight c6, queen a5. These are probably the three moves. that I would be considering. So let's see which one he goes with. I assume he's going to play one of those. I can't imagine he would play anything else here. Okay, knight c6. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And this weakness, remember, this is a permanent weakness. Pawns can never go backwards. So even though he's not doing anything right now, that could potentially pop up in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 moves, right? So just keep an eye on this knight. I would not be surprised if there's some tactic pops up with a queen or a bishop or a rook, where that knight can drop.
All right, Nelson. See, I took some time on that. I don't know if it was the right move, but at least I took some time and didn't just rush in.
Queen b6, I probably wouldn't have played that. I would have traded the pawns first and then maybe thought about attacking, but overall, very, very solid. Okay, they do go with knight a4. You could see the engine does not like that move. Let's see if we can figure out why. Obviously, our queen is under attack, so we do need to move the queen. I'm wondering what could the reason be? Why does the engine really not like it? I'm thinking we go check here. And the idea is that if they block with the bishop, we now can snag the pawn. If they block with the queen, I think we just trade and win a pawn. And the only question is, what if they block with the pawn and attack our queen? Then we would have to retreat maybe here. So maybe we go check there first. Maybe this is the move. Although this one, then bishop d2, we have to deal with. No, I think it's queen b4, and then we just retreat. And what white's pieces are kind of awkward. I don't know. That's might be a tough move for him to play. He might be tempted to retreat somewhere here. Let's see. I think this is the best move.
Think about this. I could put him in check. If he pushes his pawn down to threaten my queen, I could just take it and he's still in check. If I put him in check and he brings his bishop over to defend, ooh.
Okay, so yeah, the engine doesn't like it. It must have been queen b4 was what he needed to play to keep the advantage, but we're still very early in the game, and that's not a bad move by any means. I mean, it saves the queen. It's a good square for the queen because of the pressure here. If this pawn ever moves, he's going to have that, or the knight, so he's still totally fine. Black still has a very nice position. I'm actually very impressed that both of these players, I mean, Clay, I told him, but both players are taking their time, which is interesting. Usually the opening phase, some players are just blitzing out moves. C3. Engine does not like it. Why not? Well, this capture, I think, needs to be made. And here's why. We want to open up our bishop. We want to open up this file probably. We don't want to give white any extra options of potentially taking here at the right moment for them. So I think we need to go ahead and make the trade. After the recapture, a check from the bishop looks very powerful. And the reason I say that is because how is white going to respond? You can't block with your knight because you no longer have support. You don't want to lose your queen. You don't want to move your king, which means the only move after takes, check, the only move is to bring your bishop back, right? But then somehow it looks like we should be winning a pawn. It gets a little tricky. There's some crazy fork tactics here. I mean, there's a lot happening, but I think this is going to lead to a good position for him if he does this. I don't know if he's afraid to trade this, though, because he had a lot of opportunities earlier, and he's not making the trade. So I wonder if he realizes that this trade is normally what's supposed to happen here.
Don't want to break open the center, because if I do that, it means I have to move my king. I've got a castle. I think I'm just going to move the bishop out.
Yeah. Okay. Bishop e7. So he's trying to develop the pieces. The issue is we really want our knight to go there. The knight on h6 is kind of, I don't like that so much. And also, we don't want the bishop here. We want the bishop to be on b4, right? This is where the weaknesses in the position have been created, right? White did that when they played b3. So as soon as we see this, okay, this bishop's got to take advantage of these somehow, some way, right? When I see bishop e7, I'm like, he's not going to where he needs to go, I think. And also we block the knight, so it's going to be harder to castle unless we're willing to do this, which I don't know if we are. So that's what I'm not loving about it. I think for some reason, I'll have to ask him after the game, but it seems like he's afraid to make this trade, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know what's holding him back from taking this. Okay, white plays a pretty good move. Excuse me. Yeah, knight f3 is a good move for white. They're defending the center, gives them more options now, and they can bring the knight in or just leave it there to support. That's a good move from white. And now Play's going to have a problem if he doesn't figure this out quickly, because he's afraid to take, so he's trying to defend this. That's what's going on. Interesting. All right. It's not awful. I mean, it's not awful. It's I don't. Yeah. I can't. If you don't see this idea, it makes sense. He's just trying to defend. So, okay. I'm curious what's happening with this knight, though, right? Because this knight at some point has to come out. You can't leave the rook there forever. Okay, so white decides to make the trade. And now just recapture with the pawn. Or here. I mean, this is also a move. You could really take either way. This is the downside to this move for white, is this pawn on e5 is now up for grabs. It's a little tricky with the pin, but there is a check, and I don't know what's going on there. So that's something to think through. But also, you could probably take here as well. So I think both of these moves are fine for Clay. Yeah, either one should be okay.
All right, here we go, rodeo.
Okay, so he does capture with the knight. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. You might lose a pawn here, but actually no. This is going to get very, very interesting if white captures, because you don't really want to take back, or do you? Huh. Oh, this is very interesting. You've got some tension here between the knights. You've got this, you've got this, you've got this. I mean, there's a lot going on here. There is a lot going on here. A big question is, what is white going to do? I don't know. I could see them making either of these moves. Probably this. This is what I would think most people would do. Okay, I mean, if I'm playing this, I don't even actually know. I guess you have to take it back and open up the rook. Yeah, I guess you have to. The alternative, I don't think we want to make this trade, because we just bring white's queen more into the game. I can't take this. It's defended. I don't have time. I would love to be able to take this and then come in with my queen. But I don't have time, right? Because my queen's under attack. So I think we have to take this. And basically just say, look, we're losing some pawns here, but we have all these open files. We've got strong control in the center now. And white has not castled. So yeah, I think he's got to recapture this. Okay, good. He does make the capture. Yep. And I expect we will see this, but either one does come with a threat. So either way, he'll probably need to react. Let's see what white decides to do. I assume they're going to take this one way or the other. There's a lot happening. Whenever there's a lot happening in a position, lots of captures, lots of choices, that's always a good moment to slow down. And so they slowed down, chose this move. Okay, so they're attacking the queen. I guess he has to move the queen, and you have to keep it defending the knight. So I only see two moves. I guess you could trade the knight first, but I don't want to do that. I just feel like it makes white's queen better. So I'm going here, or I'm going here. I'm pretty confident he'll play one of these two moves, especially because he's taking his time. He's not rushing into anything. I think he's going to... Okay. So he decides to trade it first. That's not bad at all, actually. That's fine. And then it gives you more flexibility with where you move your queen to. You don't have to go to one of these squares anymore, because you're no longer tied to defending the knight. So if he wants to go here or here, that's totally fine. I guess you could go with a check as well. So, okay, not bad at all. I think white's going to take with the queen. Now, you don't really want to mess up your pawn structure like this, so I'm pretty sure we're going to see queen takes here.
He's going to take with the queen because he wants to keep his pawn shield.
Okay, and there it is. And I don't know, queen e5 almost looks pretty interesting because it comes with a tempo, right? It's a check. White has to respond. Let's just say hypothetically they block. Maybe we can take that pesky knight and then this becomes a weakness. Right now, it is defended by the queen, but maybe there's some way to attack that with the rook, or even here we could just take with the rook. Like, yeah, I like queen e5. Not the only move, but I do like that.
That could be interesting. I could put him in check with my queen, bring my light squared bishop. I don't like being passive here. I want to check him.
Okay, he goes for the more aggressive option. Yeah, so I mean, white's probably going to block with his bishop, I would think. You could really block with either bishop. You could block with the queen. Moving the king would be bad. So I expect we'll see a bishop block here. And what I really want to see Clay doing now is getting this knight out and castling. I think that's critical. Now, there might be some merit to taking some pawns over here, but this seems extremely valuable. Getting that king to safety, getting the rooks onto these open files as fast as possible. I want to see 2 rooks over here, right? That being said, okay, taking and messing up the pawn structure also probably makes sense as well. Maybe you do that first, you get rid of that bad bishop, and then you think about this in castling.
I'm kind of hoping that he defends his king with the light squared bishop.
Time usage is very even this game. Queen e3. Okay, so white wants to, or at least is offering a queen trade. So let's talk about this. I guess I don't know if it matters too much whether he trades or not. There's not a real big advantage one way or the other. Okay, the advantage of trading is that then you could follow it up with this, and you have some weak pawns that you can attack. Okay. The advantage of keeping the queen is white's king. White's king's not really that weak, so I don't know. It probably doesn't matter too much. I haven't seen really any major blunders from either player. Nothing significant, which we're already on move 14. That's these guys are playing pretty well. It's going to come down to the end, I think, as we start to see the time pressure force them to move faster, right?
All right, I'm getting pinched on time here.
Okay, he goes back. So he's keeping the queens on the board. I'm okay with that. I don't mind that decision. Queen b8, not a bad square. I mean, he's on a nice file. He does keep some pressure on this bishop so that maybe one day after this knight gets traded, and there could be a tactic here if the queen ever leaves. So all right, I don't mind that. I still now would like to see the knight and castling. I think that's what needs to happen very soon. However, I wouldn't be surprised if white does something related to this knight, because they might be worried about that. No, they do. They do go for the development, bishop d3. Okay. Yeah, I think knight f6 is the move. Now, you might say, well, can't we win a pawn? And the answer is no. Do you guys see why not? Good moment for everybody at home to pause. Why can we not win a pawn here? Ooh, great move. Great move. It's actually a trap. Takes. We get forked. The bishop comes in and we get forked. So knight f6, fantastic move. Okay, both players now under 2 minutes. So this is really where it's going to start to get... Okay, he does castle. I was going to say, this is really where it's going to start to get interesting. There's an interesting move actually here, knight g4. I don't know how powerful it is, because I think white can... Well, actually, no, knight g4 is maybe not that easy for white to figure out how to respond, because he would be threatening the queen and checkmate.
Okay.
Now,
queen. Ooh,
there's queen g3. There's maybe... Oh, and he
thinking about my queen attacking.
Wow, what a move.
That could be a checkmate.
What a move. I'm actually excited to see that. Clay is paying attention. And actually, this is very tricky for white. Very tricky. Because remember, the queen is guarding that bishop. So now you have to start thinking about things like, if this trade happens, maybe we pick off the bishop. Also, of course, you can't just get checkmated. You can't just lose your queen. White probably has to play queen g3 or queen h3 here. Only moves. And it's still, interesting at that moment.
Ooh, that is not good for him. I think it's checkmate.
I'm 100% sure he sees it. I am 100%. Yes.
Woo!
Yes.
There we go!
All right. Wow. What a game. I, the way that game started and the way that it ended so quickly. I mean, man, let's take a look at the game review on this. That was something else. Yeah, look at that. 77 accuracy. And you can see they were pretty even most of the game until the end. If white plays queen g3 or queen h3, they're fine. They just missed the checkmate. And the queen was far away. So, sometimes beginners have a hard time. Wow. What a great finish. I mean, Clay did a fantastic job. He slowed down. He was very careful, right? He didn't make any of those big blunders and got a beautiful win. Hey, man.
Well, I was freaking out, man. I was like, I'm going to lose on time.
Oh, no. That was an amazing game. This knight g4 move at the end, I was talking about it right when you played it, and I was like, oh, man, that was great.
Patience, right?
Yeah, and that sneaky queen on b8, I think he forgot about it. He forgot that it was threatening the checkmate.
Man, that knight on the rim bothered me for a long time. I thought of taking it, and I thought, as soon as I take it, he's going to take with his pawn. I make the mistake of taking it back with my rook, and he forks my king and my rook, and I'm done.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I actually mentioned that when I was watching. Yeah, and it's good that you didn't fall for that. Yep, exactly right. So let me actually just show you real quickly. I think, well, you tell me, were you afraid to take this pawn here?
No, that was a mistake. I should have taken that pawn.
Yeah. Did you think about taking it?
What's the move I made?
You played your bishop here.
Yeah. And I realized that on my screen, I said, I made a big mistake. Now that pawn is free. He can take that pawn. And I said that, and he didn't take it.
Not right away. Yeah.
Right. What I was thinking of is, how am I going to get my pieces out? How am I going to develop? Because if I come out with my knight, I was thinking he's just going to take me with the bishop, and I got doubled up pawns. And then if I put my knight in front of my bishop, I'm like, now that pawn's undefended. There were a lot of things going through my mind. And let me think why I did not take it. I should have taken it, looking at it.
Yes, because taking it actually solves all those problems that you were just mentioning. Because if you take, it gives you a perfect square for your bishop with a check. And now it gives you a perfect square for your knight. Then you can castle. And also, he's got a problem here. Doesn't want to lose his queen. So he's not going to go there. You can't go there with your knight. You just get forked. You don't want to move your king up. That's a bad move. So he has to go here. And then there's a really beautiful tactic here, actually, with the knight, where you can take and give up your bishop and then follow up with a fork and get it right back.
Wow.
And the bonus is that you made him move his king. So it's really bad for white. So yeah, you had a really nice. Yeah. So the thing that you want to remember for going forward is when you play the French and you play c5, a lot of the times making that trade is good for you because it opens up the diagonal and it kind of frees up some of your pieces. Yep. So don't be afraid to make that trade. Know. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I didn't know because what I was thinking there is I start to weaken my queen side over there and somehow get under attack and not be able to get my pieces out. And so I panicked a little bit. I've not made that move before.
Right.
You actually coached me on that
C5 move.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was a little.
Yep. No, it was great.
Okay.
Yeah. Just remember next time it's a good trade for you because it lets out this bishop, which is what you want. That was a great game. That was perfect. You took your time. Even taking your time, you still were able to win with a nice checkmate. Now your opponent was not really making any mistakes until the very end. They didn't give you a lot of opportunities. Yeah. I don't have much to say. That was a great game. I mean, I love knight g4. That was such a cool move with this threat.
The only thing that I started beating myself up over is that I didn't start a pawn storm, on the king side. I thought, man, should I have started developing those pawns? And I didn't do it. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think you should have. I think you did it exactly right because the pawn storm is going to be a slow plan. Remember I talked to you about how long is the plan going to take? I mean, you're talking a bunch of moves, right? Before you can actually even attack anything.
Right.
And the way you did it, this was quick. This was a very fast, just immediately big threats. That's the kind of move that you're looking for, right? Right away. And sure enough, they didn't see it, right? And you got the quick checkmate. So,
Yeah.
Okay, I have one question for you. For next time, are you going to try the elephant gambit, or are you going to stick with the French? What is your plan?
I'm going to try the elephant gambit.
You are going to try it. Okay.
I'm probably going to
Okay.
lose. I'm probably going to lose a lot in the beginning with it. You know,
I feel like it might. I feel like you might really like it. I think it fits your style because you like looking for those aggressive moves or those attacking opportunities, and I think you're going to have a lot more of those chances in this opening. And so we already talked about it. I won't redo it, but I think next time let's try that and we'll talk about some of those games and let's see if you like it or not because I think you will.
let's
Your position is much more open.
let's do this since you're recording right now. Would you show it to me again and send me the recording so I can
Sure.
think about it? So you said, okay, let's look at first scenario. Most likely they're going to take with the knight, right?
With the knight, correct. Yep.
That's right.
We're going to take back with the pawn.
Okay.
And we're intentionally giving them this opportunity to attack us on our weak spot.
Yep.
Okay. And this is going to allow us to play the wasp. Queen G5. Very aggressive move.
Yep.
And most people are going to see this and just jump all over this fork.
Yep.
Not probably 70, 80% of your games, you're going to see this.
Yep.
And then you jump in here. They got to save the rook. You bring out the bishop, which is trapping the queen.
Yep.
So they got to go back. Now they've lost their defender. So we simply make it a trade first. Don't forget to trade first because you don't want your bishop sitting over there to get captured. So you trade first and then you take the knight. And then all you have to remember here, king goes back. The knight comes out and then don't lose your rook. So you slide it over. And even though we lost a bunch of pawns over here, it doesn't really matter because we're probably going to end the game by checkmating their king. We have a knight, we have a bishop, we have this knight, we have a queen. All these pieces you're going to use to attack, and it's going to be a lot of fun for you. Right. If they take with the pawn, do you remember what I showed you last time?
Yeah, you don't take it back with the queen. You push the pawn forward.
Correct. Push the pawn forward first. And once the knight jumps in somewhere, that's when you take it back because now you have a target for the queen.
Okay.
And so instead of us getting chased around, we're the one chasing them around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then D4 is their best move. You know what en passant is, right?
Yeah.
So you would take that's what we could do here. Yes, I would take the en passant because we were removing the defender of the knight. And so now they have to probably retreat. Yeah. And now the nice thing about the elephant gambit from Black's perspective is it's very clear where your pieces, what your pieces should do, right? This knight can come out. This knight can come out. Both of your bishops have maximum possibilities. You can put them wherever you want, right? So it's very easy to play from that standpoint. The French, you're kind of like jammed up a little bit. It's very cramped. Elephant gambit, not the same. So just start getting those knights out. You know, that's a mistake. You know, you can see already I'm making mistakes for white. But let's say they do something else. If they attack your queen, just move it off to the side. I like to put it here, lining up on the king. It's pinning the knight, and it's kind of tucked away. And then you just develop. You bring out the pieces. You can castle either way. And I think you're going to really like it. I want to see you play some games so we can kind of see how your opponents are reacting to it. But yeah, I think you're going to like the elephant gambit a lot. So we'll try this for next time. And yeah, overall, I mean, great game today. Is he going to see it? This is an easy move to miss. Come on. I'm holding my breath. This is a critical moment.